Rise like the phoenix, transforming life through ancient wisdom. Chapter 1, The Phoenix of Fire, A Tale of Rebirth. In the ancient desert tales of Egypt, the royal falcon god Horus was said to have a companion of legendary courage, the phoenix, a bird of fire that rises from its own ashes. Once, a wandering scribe recounted how a small village fire claimed an elderly carpenter's home, leaving nothing but smoldering timber. The villagers mourned the loss, but the carpenter's son, driven by a sudden wind of hope, gathered every ember and stone that remained. He built a new workshop, stronger and wiser, using the ashes as nourishment for fresh growth. That winter, he carved a phoenix out of cedar, and it became the symbol of the village's resilience. Today, the phoenix reminds us that even when life feels consumed by hardship, the spark of possibility endures. Rebuilding isn't simply about replacing what was lost, it's about reimagining and reinvigorating our purpose. In business, a setback can become a pivot point, guiding us toward innovation. In personal life, grief can transform us into advocates for compassion. Apply the lesson today. When you face a setback, rather than lamenting what you lost, sift through the ashes of experience. Write down 3 lessons you've learned and consider how they could redirect your path. Use those insights to draft a tiny, actionable plan, like setting a new skill goal or revisiting a dormant hobby. By embracing the fire of change, you begin to build the next chapter. Conclusion: the phoenix is not merely a symbol, it is a blueprint for rebirth. Each flame that consumes old structures paves the way for a new, brighter self. Call to action. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with someone who needs a spark, and subscribe for more ancient insights that ignite modern courage. Reflective question: when did you last let the ashes of a setback fuel a new beginning, and what fresh direction did it reveal? Chapter 2, The Cycle of Samsara, Breaking Free from a Pattern. In the sacred dialogues of the Bhagavad Gita, the warrior Arjuna stands at the crossroads of duty and doubt. His mentor, Krishna, tells him that the soul is eternal, moving through cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, a process known as samsara. To break free, Krishna encourages Arjuna to act without attachment to outcomes and to cultivate the mind as a quiet lake, reflecting reality without becoming it. This ancient teaching fits modern entrepreneurial life. Often we operate within patterns. We chase promotions, manage endless tasks, and cling to status symbols. We are trapped, breathing deeply, but missing the horizon. The path out of samsara is to act intentionally, performing duties with discipline, as if each action is a seed, yet remain unattached to the fruit so that you can pivot if the fruit fails. Practical application. In your day, identify one task you are overattached to. Notice the emotional tug that arises if it fails. Rewrite your perspective. I am doing this with skill and intent. Whether the result matches my expectations is beyond my control. This mental shift reduces anxiety, fosters creativity, and encourages resilience. Conclusion: the cycle of samsara is not an endless loop. It is an opportunity to learn and evolve, each cycle building a larger, wiser self. Call to action. Like, share, and subscribe so we can explore more timeless strategies for freedom in modern life. Reflective question: which task in your current routine feels like a cycle you need to break, and how can detachment transform your approach? Chapter 3, Taoist Flow, Water that Molds the Mountain. Laozi, in his Tao Te Ching, writes of water. Water shapes its own path, never opposing but always yielding. This quiet strength teaches us that the most potent force is unresisted, flexible motion. The same philosophy can transform how we handle career transitions or personal change. Instead of resisting an unexpected layoff or a shift in market demand, we can meet it with the elasticity of water, absorbing the shock but redirecting rather than breaking. Consider the ancient fable of the bamboo. A bamboo sapling is planted in a hard, rocky soil. For 5 years it grows only a foot in height, its roots digging deep. Then, on a sudden spring, it springs up 100 feet in a single day. The bamboo did not resist the hard soil, it rooted until the opportunity for swift growth arrived. The lesson: growth often requires enduring hardship quietly, preparing for momentum. Today, practice the bamboo mindset. When you face an industry shift, stay resilient in the background, develop your core skills, and wait for the right timing to surge forward. Rather than acting on immediate frustration, invest in long-term nourishment. Conclusion: flow is not passive, it is strategic. By aligning with the natural currents of change, we become stronger than stone. Call to action: like, share, and subscribe for insights that help you navigate change with calm strength. Reflective question: where in your life are you resisting change, and what would it look like to flow with it instead? Chapter 4: Alchemy of Self, Turning Lead into Gold. Alchemy, the medieval practice of turning base metals into gold, was symbolic of inner transformation. In ancient Chinese Taoist alchemy, the philosopher Wang Chang led a small group to meditate on the white light within, believing that harnessing this inner fire could change the world. Similarly, many Hindu sages emphasize that the self's true essence is gold. What appears lead is merely conditioned perception. In the modern workplace, your core talents may feel plain, stuck in routine tasks. Yet within those tasks lies potential gold: a knack for organization, a talent for storytelling, an eye for patterns. Recognizing and refining these innate qualities turns ordinary labor into a golden contribution. What you bring to a team is not what you show, but what you evolve. Take a moment to identify one repetitive task you perform without enthusiasm. Reflect on what skill it hones, perhaps attention to detail or communication. Create a plan to elevate that skill. Seek feedback, take a short course, or mentor someone. The accumulation of small improvements produces the gold of expertise, making your work more impactful. Conclusion: the alchemical metaphor reminds us that every day we have a chance to transform our ordinary habits, into gold of purpose and value. Call to action: if you found this path of transformation enlightening, please like, share, and subscribe to continue turning everyday moments into golden lessons. Reflective question: what lead is present in your daily routine, and how might you alchemically convert it into personal or professional gold? Chapter 5: The Grand Finale of Transformation, Integrating the Lessons. When a phoenix reignites, a Brahmin realizes liberation, and the river finally merges with the sea, all these disparate stories converge. The phoenix teaches us rebirth from ashes. Samsara reminds us that cycles can become ladders. Taoist flow shows that yielding can wield power. Alchemy points to converting ordinary into extraordinary. Each element is a facet of the same universal truth. Transformation is an act of conscious creation. To integrate these insights, imagine your life as a tapestry where each thread is woven with intention. Begin with the phoenix's courage. When faced with loss, ignite the flame of possibility. Let the wisdom of samsara guide you to act without fear of outcome. Flow like water, adjusting to the contours of your environment. And practice alchemy, cultivate your innate talents until they shine like gold. Action step: set a daily ritual that incorporates all 5 elements. For example, each morning you could 1. Visualize a phoenix rising next to a garden where you see yourself thriving. 2. Write a sentence affirming your non-attachment to the day's outcome. 3. Take a moment to breathe like flowing water. 4. Review a recent task for hidden skill. And 5. Jot a reflection on what new gold you discover in that day. Conclusion: by merging ancient myths with modern practice, you create a living alchemy that continually reshapes your life. Transformation is not a one-off event, but a daily rebirth, each sunrise renewing you. Call to action: if this script has sparked a new vision, please hit the like button, share it with anyone looking for change, and subscribe for deeper dives into ancient wisdom that fuels today's growth. Reflective question: which element of transformation will you prioritize most in the coming week, and how will you measure its impact on your growth? Philosophy Spotlight: Taoism, the Path of Natural Flow. Taoism, the ancient Chinese philosophy founded from the teachings of Laozi, urges us to live in harmony with the Tao, the subtle and universal flow that underlies all existence. In simple terms, Taoism teaches that resistance is futile and that the best way to influence circumstances is to understand and align with natural patterns. The core precept is Wu Wei, often translated as effortless action or non-striving. Historically, Laozi composed the Tao Te Ching, a brief but profound treatise of 81 verses. His influence spread through the Confucian and Chinese Buddhist traditions, shaping political theory and personal conduct alike. Later, the Taoist mystic Chen Tuan, one of the greatest Taoist masters, embodied the principle of living in continuous, balanced motion, becoming revered for his apparent mastery of both worldly affairs and spiritual attainment. 3 timeless lessons from Taoism that translate into modern success. 1. Embrace flexibility over rigidity. Just as rivers carve their path through mountains, opportunities flow wherever we remain pliant. In business, this means adopting agile methodologies, remaining open to pivoting strategies, and welcoming unexpected market shifts as chances to innovate. 2. Value observation over immediate judgment. Taoists practice stillness to observe the dance of the Tao. This translates to mindful decision-making. Before acting, pause, gather data, let insight arise organically. It reduces impulsive mistakes and cultivates deeper clarity. 3. Cultivate balance between action and inaction. Recognize when to step forward decisively and when to withdraw. In an age of constant productivity pressure, this lesson encourages restorative practices, purposeful breaks, reflective journaling, and mindful presence that recharge creative energy. These Taoist principles weave tightly into the overarching theme of transformation. Each practice, whether the phoenix rising, the cycle of samsara, or the alchemy of the self, requires moving with the flow of circumstances rather than fighting them. By integrating Taoist insight, we become adept at navigating transitions as a dance, not a battle. Through ancient myths, spiritual cycles, and timeless philosophy, we have built a map for ongoing personal evolution. With the phoenix's fire, the cycle that teaches persistence, the river that inspires flow, and the alchemy that turns lead into purpose, we can continually rebuild ourselves. Apply Taoist wisdom to ground these efforts in natural order and effortless action. Remember, transformation is a practice, a daily choice that breathes life into our stories. Let the lessons above be the guiding stars as you forge a life that burns bright, flows smoothly, and alchemizes ordinary moments into lasting gold.